I ask myself, one, where did I finish in the standings a year ago? And then the second question I ask myself is, why did I finish in X place that year?
I finished the sixth place because of Saquon Barkley.
Sure, that's a thing. Okay,
I'm
then
answering the question.
okay, well
And
then
yet Antonio Gibson.
sure. So injuries derailed it. So you still have a good team. So maybe you're not ready to go in full rebuild.
You're still building.
You're still building, perhaps. Or maybe, you actually do have a good team. Injuries just really messed it up. You could actually potentially run it back. So that would be something that I would say if you're giving me that vague information of I finished sixth because of Saquon Barkley, I think you're probably in category 1 or 2. So the point is you should ask yourself those two questions. And based on your answers to those two questions, you should be able to fit your team into one of these three, as Drew said, categories, right? One is run it back. That means you got a good team. I'm trying to run it back. I can win this again. Or maybe you came close to winning. Now is the year. Still building. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm in year 2 of my rebuild, or maybe, I have young assets that are still, haven't entered the prime of their careers yet. That's still building. And then, of course, we all know what rebuilding is. My team is trash. I need to fix it ASAP. So those are the three categories.
So I'm in category 1 if Saquon Barkley gets traded to any other team other than the New York Poop Giants. And I'm probably unfortunate. There's luck. There's luck in fantasy.
Oh yeah.
I have to say there is luck in fantasy, and it just seems unless I get super lucky, I'd probably fall into category 2 if Saquon Barkley stays on the Giants, because how can you even trust them on that team?
Dabble.
It's horrible.
You got a decent
Yeah,
offensive
Brian
mind
Daboll
now.
is pretty good, but Couch has a good reason to be concerned because there's also that rumor they're floating around that they're going to trade Saquon, and that's like, I don't know about that.
I should definitely trade him. What is a running back going to do? Running back's going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I don't understand how you guys aren't on board. That's the thing, yes. So if you can't,
I agree and I disagree. I can see
I don't think you're going to get much back.
It's all about winning a Super Bowl, and it's just like Dynasty. His lifespan is not that high, and let's be quite frank, as a New York Giant, his lifespan is even shorter because he's getting murdered every play. So what are you going to do?
Stepped on by his receivers. Sorry.
I mean, it's short of like Eli Manning coming back and tackling him, or Daniel Jones like stripping the ball from him. Like he's getting destroyed. Like
that injury with Kadarius Toney was so freak, but it was horrible.
I didn't honestly. That wasn't even a joke on that. Yeah, he did kind of.
That was so bad.
Trip on
so
his own teammate in a way that. Well, yeah, I mean, but it's so bad that why wouldn't it was a mistake drafting him because.
They had other needs, basically.
At the time, I thought it was good, but I was wrong. Yeah, they drafted a running back too early, and running back doesn't usually mean you're winning a Super Bowl. You need other positions like a quarterback, for instance.
Yeah, receivers, weapons.
Yeah, O-line, O-line for them especially. I'd say definitely for them. Put that in bold for them.
Yeah,
O-line, like you really need O-line. Well, let's see, and a good team, they can really do a lot with Saquon. So I think if he gets traded, I'm in category 1. This is the league that you guys aren't in because you guys are very familiar with my other team in that league. I'm definitely in category 3 in that league. In this league, I got Mahomes, I got Kittle, I got Barkley, I got Diggs. I think my kicker's great. Yeah, we got a kicker in this league. So my team's good, but it
sounds like a run it back type of team to me.
But Kittle and Saquon typically destroy my season with injuries, so just can't do it.
Not next year with Kittle. Kittle, I think, is going to stay healthy next season. But
Saquon needs to get traded, dude. If he gets traded, I am so.
Well, have you thought about trading Saquon in this league to see what you can get for him and maybe improve your position, your matchups against other top teams?
I think his stock is at all-time low, and I just don't sell low usually.
That's smart.
It might be lower than normal, but I think you could still get a Saquon.
I mean, according to this
truth
flow chart here, I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's
well. let's go over it. I'll read the
I
running
don't
back.
know. Yeah.
I'm going to read the running back, and then Sushane's going to kind of expand on some points, for example. So when we were thinking about the run it back crew, we're thinking about, the top finishers from last season for the most part. And those guys are going to have late first round picks. So we were thinking that they should trade their first and or second round picks to fill needs, for example, and not necessarily use those picks. Do you want to expand on that a little bit, Sushane, as far as the strategy involved?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll actually use an example in a league that all three of us are in, the Empire League.
Mm-hmm.
I traded away Rondale Moore, right, pretty close to the rookie draft, or like right after the rookie draft. So he hadn't played a snap yet, so it wasn't like a decreased or diminished value Rondale Moore. This is a full value Rondale Moore. I gave Couch actually Rondale Moore a 2023 first, which people value in the community because they are aware of the stacked 2023 rookie class, and I think some other like small piece for J.K. Dobbins. Now, obviously, we know Dobbins got hurt, and that derailed my own team, but that's the type of move you make, right? What's a 2023 rookie pick going to do for you if you have a team with guys like Aaron Rodgers, Mike Evans, Travis Kelce, Derrick Henry? You need to win now. You can't wait for this 2023 guy, even though, you could be in love with him, the youth, XYZ, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take time for him to be Derrick Henry, for example.
Definitely.
Just go trade your 2023 1 and 2. People are willing to overpay at this point for a unproven talent who has not played a single snap in football. That's just how it is. People are willing to overpay for 2023 rookie picks now. It's just go trade and go get a guy who's going to help you and actually win your team.
I feel like I got a lot of value, not in hindsight. I feel like I got a lot of value for that.
Well, I also valued J.K. Dobbins very highly, and then
that was before he got hurt. I did too. J.K. Dobbins had a lot of potential.
Even now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
I don't regret that trade on my end at all because I knew at that point I had to go all in. I took over the winning team, and my team was only getting older, not younger. I didn't really have many picks.
I guess it's Rondale Moore. I guess, now we can have a different opinion, but I guess if you didn't really value him that much, you just wanted to. Why did you throw him in? Just to shore it up, just to get the deal done fast.
I also knew that. So what I did in the rookie draft, I did another thing, Couch. We didn't write this down for the run it back strategy, but this might be something you might be interested in doing for that Mahomes league you were talking about. I actually ended up downsizing my running backs and getting some other value back. So, for example, I traded away Kamara for Montgomery and McLaurin, and then I traded away Derrick Henry for Javonte, Amari Cooper, and I think Rondale and Diami Brown, I believe.
Yeah, during the draft.
So you can. That's another thing. You can downsize those running backs.
But what does that mean exactly? Just trade them, get back a running back, and
split the value.
Who's better, Kamara or Montgomery? Obviously, Kamara.
But he got McLaurin with Montgomery. So you're splitting value, basically. It's like I got like a 7.5, let's just say out of 10, and I'm splitting it to get a 5, and I'm getting in a 5 running back and a 5 wide receiver.
So you get back a running back though, and
you
plus some
and a wide receiver. So you got Terry and you got.
That's I'm just trying to define what downsized running back means. You get back a running back.
You get back a lesser quality running back and a legitimate piece to kind of make up the value.
But you definitely
downgrade
get
running back to upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah, you're filling needs basically.
In the case of in one of my trades, I ended up trading Derrick Henry for a pick and Amari Cooper, and that pick ended up becoming Javonte Williams. So you can see
1.09, I believe.
Right, the 1.9 or 1.8 or something like that. So you can see how this strategy, even for a win now or very close to win now type of team, can be profitable. You can see that.
Yeah, and I think the other point to make about this is I drafted Waddle in that same league in Empire at the 1.12, right? The 12th overall pick. And so he didn't necessarily develop until later on in the season. If you were a running back team, for example, you'd want your rookie to hit the ground running. You'd want him to be like Jamar Chase right out of the gates. You'd want a higher pick, for example, a higher quality player if you had it. If not, go trade that first or second round pick for a veteran player who is going to be already highly involved in the offense and going to hit the ground running when the season opens, because you need to start winning games quickly, because you want to build up your record. You want to have the bye. You want to have a chance of winning this season, as opposed to like waiting for Waddle to fully develop next season, right? Now, Waddle's kind of a bad example because he played well, but I also took Devontae Smith, I think, with the 1.10 or so, so I had 10th and 12th overall pick. So I got Waddle and Devontae. And Devontae didn't really develop very much at all last season, I mean, compared to Jamar Chase. So, I think it's just a matter of like getting the guy that's going to help you now versus getting the guy that's going to help you 2 years from now.
One more thing to add to that, because you were saying that, running backs, usually the good ones at least, hit, they day one, they're pretty good.
Usually, yeah.
Usually, right? Yeah, right. If they're good ones for the long haul. So that means that, okay, I'm trading Derrick Henry. Well, let's not use Javonte Williams, because he was more of a, he's going to really break out this year. He was kind of a later guy. Let's say I got, for example, Najee Harris, just for example, right? I'm also extending my winning window a little bit, because I'm getting younger at the RB position. That's the one position that has the shortest lifespan. So by going from a guy like Kamara, Dalvin, Derrick Henry to a guy, obviously you would be doing this last year. This year you'd probably be looking at guys like Breece Hall or Isaiah Spiller. If that guy hits the ground running, it becomes a low-end RB1 this season. Maybe he ends up finishing as like the RB4, RB5 at best. Not only did you get the production you were looking for, but you got younger at the position. Gives you more flexibility in the long run, in the long haul.
Yeah, you get more prime age of a position at that point. Right. So let's move on to the second point. It says assess top teams and improve matchups. Just briefly, I'll give Sushane the floor here in a moment, but it's basically looking at all the other top contending teams and figuring out what you need to build a team that's going to be matching up well with them. You want to expand on that point, or did I kind of?
Sure. So let's go back to that example with me and couch trading with the J.K. Dobbins. Why did I go for J.K. Dobbins? I could have got Tyreek Hill. I could have tried for maybe, DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown. But I needed a running back. I saw my team with Derrick Henry and Kamara, and then I ended up going from those two guys to Javonte Williams and David Montgomery. I was cool with David Montgomery, but I knew Javonte Williams, he might not be an RB. He might not be one of those guys, because Melvin Gordon was there who hits the ground running necessarily. So I need to win. I need to win this year. So I need a running back, and I need a good one. I don't want to go all in necessarily and get one of the older guys. So I went for J.K. Dobbins. That's why I went for a running back, because I assessed the other top teams who were, in my opinion, I thought were the top teams. And I figured out, okay, what position, what player or players do I need to make myself feel comfortable that, hey, my team, if I showed it to 100 people, 99 of them would say it's better than the other teams.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Do you have anything you want to comment on that, Hussein?
No, let's move on to the next one.
Sure.
Okay, because I think those are great points for anybody running it back. Let's talk about still building. I would classify myself as still building in the Empire League, and you're kind of like middle of the road. I think I finished 6th last season, but you have some upside, and you think you might be able to build a championship contender soon. So you want to move up rookie first and get higher first. Like I have the 6th and the 12th overall pick. It'd probably be smart for me to move up into the top 3 or 4 if at all possible.
Here's the thing. I always want to do this. Is it not easier said than done?
We actually made this point last night when we were doing our quick chat to prep. So Sushane said, hey, you got 12 guys in the league, right? Well, now you're one of those guys. So now there's 11 left. There's always like 2 or 3 guys in a league that just don't trade for their first round picks ever, right? Like, so you just got to cancel them off the board right away. So now you're down to like 9, 8 people that may be tradable partners. Well, some of those guys may have traded their first already, right? So Brain, you have like 3 first round picks. Sushane has like 2, right? So now we're down to like 2 or 3 possible trade partners to make this work.
That's and some of those guys, the process of elimination. So
right. And some of those guys may not have the pick that you want anyway. So he made a really good point in explaining this to me out loud last night. So I just thought I'd regurgitate that.
Yeah, it's all good.
So you're saying just the first process of elimination, then just talk to those 2-3 guys that are that you can
At that
actually
point,
get.
like you were
Yeah.
saying, it's hard to pull this off. That's the reason why it's hard to pull it off. Because at the end of the day, you may only have 2 or 3 real possibilities to make the trade work that you actually want.
Yeah. This kind of goes into an advice that more fits the rebuilding thing. But like for that reason, because your trade partners kind of go away quickly, if you are going to choose to rebuild or still build through rookie picks and younger talent, make sure you're one of the first people to try to collect rookie picks and not one of the last people. Because if you're one of the first guys, you can everyone's DMs are available except for like the 1 or 2 guys who just won't trade their pick until they're on the clock. But once like example, Hussein already had 3 first-round picks, I'm down to now like 7, 8 people.
Yeah.
And then you had a couple, Drew. Now
At
I'm
the
down
time,
to like
yeah.
4, 5, 6 at the most. So your options, dwindle pretty quickly if you're not on top of it. So that's kind of more. I guess you can put that as advice for both still building and rebuilding. In terms of the first point, to move up rookie picks and get higher firsts, some guys might say like, first of all, the rookie hit rate is 50%, blah blah blah, and like I kind of want the 2 firsts, like whatever, like it's it's a second player, it's a second like lottery ticket, if you will. I'm just gonna say one thing to really counter that. First of all, yeah, regardless of whatever rookie you take, you are taking a risk. Welcome to the world of rebuilding and still building. You're taking a risk. You have to.
Absolutely.
Even running it back, I took a risk on J.K. Dobbins. I fell flat on my face. So like it happens.
That's just bad luck.
He even had Gus Edwards.
Even then I tried to go Gus Edwards in a desperation move. That failed.
Who'd you make that trade with?
Shut up, dude.
The audience doesn't know.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, Couch just destroyed me.
Yeah, it's not. It was only half joke. The other half because the audience didn't know that it was from the same person.
So when the hack the line or hack the rebuild episode goes off, we should tell them like where those picks came from.
Yeah, well,
how he got this pick. It was this and that.
First of all, when we do that, we got to give it like this is not fake. People's gonna think my team's fake.
Yeah, they will.
People are gonna think because I get to witness a lot of people post their like essentially a meme of how many picks they got, and I'm like, man, that ain't even half as good as my picks.
Bro, you know what sucks? Like I traded one of my picks to you to get like a rookie pick a year earlier, and I got Elijah Moore. And then I traded Elijah Moore, so I don't even have that guy.
Oh, you traded? That was like your guy.
That was my guy. Like, oh god. Anyway,
I love Elijah Moore. But you know what? Let's just be real, because he is on the Jets. Like, bad things might happen.
That's true.
That's the guy. Mar's in the league. Yeah, Mar's in the league. He said I came in and got them both for next year. So I think he's talking about Dobbins, right? Because he got Dobbins from you. Is that what he's talking about?
I know for a fact he got Elijah Moore from me. I'm not sure about Dobbins.
I think so.
Dobbins I gave to Gene, and then Gene
I don't know why he said both of them. I don't understand.
Yeah,
like,
no, I don't know.
I feel like he's saying it like we're
clarify.
Supposed to understand.
Yeah.
But
well, we're in the league. We should probably have an idea.
Just to finish that point, right?
Sorry,
so people might say 50-50 rookie rate, whatever, bust rate, fine. But you got to understand one thing, man. The rookie first round is not like your startup first, where it's like, at the 112, you're still getting like a really good player. Like, in one quarterback, you're getting like an AJ Brown, or in Superflex, you're getting like a Dak Prescott.
I drafted Jalen Reagor in the first round.
Exactly. It's like, so the reason
that video is cringe
too.
It's so bad.
So he got Dobbins and Gus, and then he also got Elijah in the same deal. He's saying I have
pull that up if you can, Drew. But anyway,
I go take a dump in Sushane's bathroom, and then the MR picks it up. And
oh god, this is a good trade. I might have to pull this on the screen. Give me a second.
Really?
Keep talking.
Sure. So the reason why you want to move up these rookie picks, first of all, if you have the luxury to. Right? Sometimes you need all the rookie picks to just fill out the roster, in which case at that point you probably want to get more rookie picks because it's not a perfect hit rate. But you just have a better chance of getting a real good asset if you pick higher. And it's not like your startup draft where you can still get someone good in round 2, round 3, round 4. At the 108, at the 109, you might be done. there might be in a given year no players left after the 10 guys are gone. So you got to be pretty careful in
It is a
deciding when you
recurring
want to keep those
theme.
picks and then trading it up.
It is a recurring theme. I think the best, like one of the best moves I got, like at 1.11, was Devin Singletary, and it wasn't even that great. I mean, he didn't help. That's the same team I'm talking about with Saquon.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't help me win anything. And
So at
it
that
was
point, you were probably better off
it was a
trading like a
great
111.
value pick. Like at
Yeah.
the time, like it was like I hit the ball as far as it can go, and it was Devin Singletary at 1.11. And I mean, there's usually a fall off right there when you're talking about early first, mid first, and then boom,
it's a pretty
late
steep
first is
fall.
like, yeah, it's like you're getting a bust, essentially a late first. A lot of times.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
the
have
second
this
point
trade
here.
here. Okay, go ahead.
Go
Go
ahead.
keep.
Bring it
No,
up.
no, no,
Bring it
no.
up. No. Go ahead. Bring it up. Let's see.
You sure? I want
Let's see
to
it.
kind of hide it from the viewers real quick. So let me put it down here. It's going to be kind of small because of the fact that I had to cut it from.
Okay, yeah, I remember this. I can explain my side of it, why I did this.
Let
So
me take
again,
his
I'm
comment
win
off of
now.
there.
I'm win now, and this is at the point where Dobbins and Edwards are out for the year. I know Amar is a big Jets or Elijah Moore fan because this was not the first time he asked for
He
him.
has Zach Wilson too.
Yes.
And he drafted Denzel Mims. Just saying.
Bro, wait.
I'm
He
just
traded for
sorry.
Did he trade Denzel Mims and a higher pick for Freiermuth?
I was trying not to bring that up every episode.
Every third episode, at least.
Every episode we bring it up. But
I'm
yes,
sorry,
he does
Mark.
have some. Yeah, he does. So he has Zach Wilson, Denzel Mims.
Go back to your point. Sorry,
Elijah Moore.
Right.
You don't want that. You don't want a lot of Jets on your team. It's usually not a good idea.
Hey, I got Michael Carter. If you want to come get him, no, I'm joking. I like Michael Carter.
Yeah.
We differ. Anyway, so this is a super flex league.
He was good. He was better than you thought the first year.
Yeah, but he doesn't think he's good long term. Possibly.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm not as high in him as.
That's like every running back. every running back is bad long term. Like
Amar's got a short term memory.
Literally every running back is bad long term.
Who's Denzel Mims? Says the Amar. Who is Denzel Mims? That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know how to spell his name.
We got to lay off Amar for a second.
He knows how to spell his name. That's already a sign that he knows who he is.
What do you think about this trade, though? I kind of like this trade for Amar here. I mean, obviously, you got the handcuff with Mixon and Perrine.
Let me explain it real quick, though, Drew.
You go ahead.
Before you start harping on
critical.
Here, all right? Yeah. This is a super flex league. That means you start two quarterbacks. I only had two. I only had Rodgers and Cousins. I had no third quarterback. Dobbins was hurt. Edwards was hurt. I had Montgomery, who was fine. I had Javonte and Gordon. I had them both. That was fine. I could get that enough production there. I feel like this is something that like I definitely in terms of like hindsight looking back at it, like yeah, it's an awful trade for me.
You didn't think Wentz would be that bad.
Yeah, also that.
Or I mean, just he thought he'd be a little bit better.
A little better, at least serviceable,
like a great, yeah, serviceable.
Right.
I don't think it's a horrible trade. I think it might just be slightly favorable.
Mixon did great.
Yeah, at the time, Mixon
did great.
Prime player. He was like top 5 running back at the time, and Wentz wasn't terrible necessarily. He wasn't great.
And then
it was for the run.
Ignore the picks. The picks are both garbage.
They're null and void at that point.
Right.
All right. So yeah, let's go back to our points that we were trying to make with rebuild and building, for example. I think we just have a couple more to go for rebuilding, right? So let's move on to that.
But this is a good ego booster for me. We can't just let this slide here.
Oh yeah, I was going to bring that up during questions, but good point. So I'll read it. It says, I thought, and this is from the Amar. So it says, I thought 5-round rookie drafts was too many rounds until I actually had a 5-round rookie draft in our league. In Superflex, it's great. You want to expand on that, or
like Kellen Mond last year and Davis Mills, etc. Yeah,
and the tight ends. You had a couple tight ends go a little bit later, like Hunter Long, and
that's true.
Yeah,
I dig it.
Trey McKitty.
Especially you guys know more rookies than me, so it's like when I'm done with the 5-round rookie, there's still like a couple names that I'm looking at on waivers, and it's like you might as well put them in the draft so it's at least some kind of
Couch, this might be a
some kind of order.
2022 rookie draft specific thing because I'm looking at the 5th round. I'm like,
Yeah, that's kind of
no
why I was
thank you.
saying it because of this year's class.
Yes, but I mean,
But
but
next year's
hey,
class could prove
but
me
there's
wrong.
always next year after that.
Yeah,
Next
that's true.
year,
Okay.
next year you're gonna be hitting the waivers like it's just gold. You're gonna be digging through piles of poop, like looking for diamonds and gold. Be like, ooh, like right after the draft. I already know next year there's gonna be lots of gems.
Yeah, you'll find a ring and all that trash.
Oh god.
Oh, and then
Oh god, the rain. Where is
just
it?
to go a little further with the
there?
Mars trading here, he said he flipped Elijah Moore for Travis Etienne. That's a good trade, I
I
think.
dig it. I dig it.
I think that's a good
I like
trade.
it.
Even though the Lisfranc surgery can be a little bit sketchy, I don't think it's gonna.
Urban
Yeah.
Meyer's gone, so that's a plus, and it's full
Yeah.
PPR.
Yeah, and that's if he can play, like he did in college with Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be a nightmare for defenses.
Wait till you guys see the draft party. I got some. This is the last year we have a turducken. Guys. This is like
you better book your flight, Sushane.
the draft party.
Hey, if I'm invited, I'll be coming. Hopefully,
The only
try to make it.
Oh, I'm
so
sure you would
so
be.
even if you came in second or third or fourth, whatever, I was just telling Sushan, like if you come first, it's like much harder to kick you out of the league.
Right.
So
And I just came in dead last.
He didn't come in first.
I came in dead last, bro. It was fun.
Yeah, technically, it doesn't really.
I came in first in one thing.
How you carry yourself is what comes next, because it didn't really matter if you came in 12th or 7th. Like it wouldn't have had any. Like, oh, he came in 7th. We really got to have this guy back next. No, it's just hard to get. If somebody wins, they're on the trophy. It's hard to just kick them out the next year. Like it's kind of a whack thing to do. So you didn't get first, but you might get an invite back. But I'm already planning on how to upgrade it next year and the year after, because I know this year, the 2022 draft is the last year of the turducken. Definitely having it one more time in memory of John Madden. And the last time in memory of John Madden, we will have a turducken. I already know what we're doing the year after. If I can pull it off, it's going to be sick. It's going to cost some money, but I'm thinking ahead, like just like Dynasty, right? We're thinking 2022 draft, we're thinking 2023 draft, maybe even 2024.
That's kind of our next point.
Building up.
Yeah, that's kind of our point.
I'm thinking, what's up? It has to keep getting better.
Yeah, the point number 2, it says identify strengths of the next 2 rookie classes. So Hussein is still building up this draft.
That's what Couch is doing. He's thinking 2 years ahead for this league.
Yeah,
I like it.
And as a still building team, the point of doing that would be it's like, hey, I may take a wide receiver this year because they're really deep. And next year I might be shooting to fill my running back position, for example, since it's a deeper class for running backs next season. Ideas on that?
It's the exact reason why, although conventional wisdom would tell you, hey, if you have the first overall pick and there's a good running back, you might want to take him because the value is there. But, I'm one of those guys who I play Devi, which is more of an extension of Dynasty, where it's, you really start scouting and digging through the college players years and years and years in advance. And I know that, hey, next year's running back class, 2024's running back class, way better. Way better.
Stacked.
I'd rather wait 1 year to get my way better running back and get a wide receiver this time. On top of that, I do see that there's limited numbers of wide receivers available in the next 2 years compared to this one.
There, it is true.
So it makes sense. All the stars.
You have a good one out of LSU coming.
That's why you need to identify the strengths of the next, I would say 2, if you want. I'm crazy. I'm all the way till 2026 because we're getting data from that. You don't need to do that. That's overkill at that point.
Now, is there any?
Sushane's rankings are awesome, by the way.
Is there any
Love them.
Like real strategy with being contrarian? Because the thing with Dynasty, whenever I get into talks with anybody, everyone has the same opinion, same exact opinion on every class. Or are you saying like because you did research 2 years in advance, you have a leg up? Because doesn't everybody know this? Or does it not matter because some teams are rebuilding while others are going for the trophy this year?
What I'd say is this, Couch. It is about the players, but it's not precisely about the players. It's about the scarcity of a position more than anything else. So in 2024, for example, there's already 6 guys we're talking about that could have round 2 or better
6
NFL
running
draft.
backs.
6 running backs that could be picked in round 2 or better. That's a lot. That's a lot. Usually by
NFL
this
draft.
time, that list would only be 3. So you can deduce that, okay, well, not all 6 of these guys will end up making it probably. But so let's say 1 or 2 of them fall off. The other 4 guys are still good, and that's a thick class. And on top of that, there's always 1 or 2 guys. Joe Burrow is the poster child of this example right now, who just come out of nowhere and just produce. We have a running back this year, Kenneth Walker, who did that. One more thing is, and this is a trend that I've noticed just because I've done this for a little bit, right? I have noticed one pretty strong trend that although the names might be different, the number of players at a position kind of stays the same. Let me explain real quick. Last year, who were the big 3 running backs? Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, and Javonte Williams, right? If you were to ask me 1 year before we drafted, so 2 years ago, I would have told you there's 3 good running backs in this rookie class for 2021. I would have said Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, and Chuba Hubbard. But then Chuba Hubbard had a back injury, so now we're down to 2. Javonte Williams came up out of nowhere. We're back to 3. So even though the names weren't perfect, the quantity is still there. And because I know, for example, 3 running backs are available here, more wide receivers there, 2 tight ends in 2023, I have a general idea of when to pick which position because I know what's going to be available.
Are you talking just running back?
No, every position.
Every position.
Quarterback, like not wide receiver though.
Tight ends, quarterbacks, yeah, everything.
Everything.
He's looked at as far out to like 2025. The guys that are getting recruited to start college.
So if you're saying there's 5 good quarterbacks, you're saying typically one might, if one drops off, another like Zach Wilson emerges.
Exactly.
Yeah, correct.
Okay,
and it's not always perfect.
That's something I wanted to hear. Something I didn't know. That's something I didn't know because like I always hear, oh, this is a good wide receiver class. 2023 is a good class. This is stuff that like I can know, right? And I get like that's something like I didn't know. That's
the best tight end is coming out next season, for example. Like you should know.
This is just the way that I think about it because I'm looking. Look, you guys are you were saying, Couch, I have 1 team and run it back. Drew, you were saying I have 1 team still building. Dog, most of my teams are rebuilding because that's what I'm good at. And I'm good at it because I'm doing the work and the research years in advance. So I know who's falling, who's rising, what's available,
who's transferring,
how many, who's transferring, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Why are they transferring?
The transfer portal is a big thing in college right now.
Yeah. Who got hurt? How bad is the injury? Is it severe?
Who's in the wings? What's the transferring? What is it?
It's kind of like college free agency. Well, like Caleb Williams, one of the top quarterbacks, Oklahoma, for example. I think he's at 2023, right, Sushane?
2024.
2024. He was one of the best true freshmen all season last year, and his coach.
I would argue and say he was probably the most electrifying, flashiest quarterback in all of college football. Continue.
Absolutely. So the Oklahoma coach transfers. His name again, I forgot it off the top.
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln Riley transfers to USC. Caleb Williams transfers to USC. So he's literally going to be with the guy that recruited him in the first place, basically, in a different college.
The thing to know is that.
What does that mean? What's the significance of that? How do I win a dynasty league with it?
So the thing to know is that, college programs, forget about the Alabamas and Ohio States. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about like all the other like mediocre to good programs. They can excel really quickly, or they can fall off a map pretty quickly. I'm looking at Clemson, who all of a sudden, I'm looking at a school like Texas, who was a laughingstock, and we'll talk about
coming up next
when
season,
we talk about them. Right, they're coming up soon. So in a blink of an eye, things can happen, and you want to make sure that. Look, college is a time where development is of the utmost importance here, right? If I see Caleb Williams, for example, let's just stay on that example here. If I see that Caleb Williams is in a situation where arguably one of the best offensive coaches, offensive minds has left, okay, and then on top of that, all of the the best recruits who are committed to that school, they're all decommitting and going somewhere else. You can tell those are the signs that the program is going down. You don't want, again, for development purposes, you want a guy like Caleb Williams, for example, to be in the best possible situation. So when he transferred to USC, he continues with Lincoln Riley, brilliant offensive mind. And now it just so happened that where do those Oklahoma recruits go? To USC. So he's got all of that going for him again. That stability is there. The development is going to, we hope, be there. And that's not the case, or at least there is some question marks about development in a case like Spencer Rattler, who's now in Nebraska. There's nothing special about Nebraska. Just saying.
I think did Rattler go to Nebraska or did he go to South Carolina?
Was it South Carolina? Was it Nebraska? Someone transferred over to Nebraska.
He has a South
Trey Sermon transfer.
Yeah, Rattler's at South Carolina. Yeah, he's at South Carolina.
Either way, I mean,
I'll find out who went to Nebraska.
Either way, like South Carolina, are they special? No, they're not. USC, now they can be. Now they can.
They're one of the better programs, traditionally speaking.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, they have had good history, the Trojans. But yeah, so I mean, that's why you want to identify the strengths of these. I would say next two. That's a safe number to go with, just so you have an idea of like, okay, like, I'm on the clock with my 1.03. There's a good running back here, but there's also a good receiver. And in terms of just like, which player do I like better? I'm really torn. I'm 50-50. I'm not sure what to do here. And again, this is the category of still building. So it's not like you're in that run it back situation where it's like, okay, I need a running back or I need this. It's just like, I just need any player. I just need to keep building. Well, now it's like, okay, well, if I take a running back and I need a receiver next time around, well, next time around is a running backs class. So now what? I should have taken the wide receiver this time around and have the running backs class when the RBs are better.
Yeah, when there's a healthier number.
It's just all about planning. It's all about planning ahead and how you plan ahead. And that's just simply a tool to plan ahead.
And I think we can move on from that topic for now. I mean, we're definitely going to get into a lot of in-depth dynasty conversations later on. So let's move on to rebuilding, because this is obviously, a pretty, obvious statement. You're at the bottom. You're trying to rebuild completely. Maybe you had a good team a year or two ago. So the goal here is to trade running backs for young assets and picks. I mean, come on, let's be honest.
I did this incredibly in our Empire League. It sounds like this was based off my life, like a biography.
Yeah, this is Hussein's biography right here and how he treated the Empire. But yeah, you trade these guys away because, let's be honest, there's only, a couple guys who actually last more than like 5 or 6 years as a good running back in the NFL. We looked at some different careers lately, like Barry Sanders played 10 great seasons or something like that. He's an anomaly. That doesn't happen. Those guys over 25, 26 just don't produce like they do when they're 23 and 24. So trade those guys while you can. Go ahead and expand on that one, Hussein.
I don't think there's a whole lot to be said because
it's kind of pretty obvious.
Yeah,
running backs. I mean, they're like cars. You take them out of the dealership, they lose value
instantly.
As soon as they start going.
It's if they haven't fallen off. If they haven't fallen off, they're falling off at age 29 and a half. Like
it's coming off. It's coming soon. At least for wide receivers and other positions, there's more longevity there. So that's why you want to trade away the running backs, because those are the types of guys who are going to last the shortest. And for rebuilds, you need to focus on getting younger.
And this actually came up. We were talking about Joe Mixon, and Joe Mixon's, I think, going to be 26 here soon, or if he's not already. And I was telling Hussein, he's like getting close to the age where I'd want to dump him, because he's probably at his peak value now, or was like 6 months ago, basically. Yeah. So you want to get rid of those guys right now before they decrease in value so much that you're only going to get like a second, third round pick for them. So yeah, we just want you to know that running back life is just a lot less than any other position, obviously. So you need to get rid of them, especially if you're in a rebuilding. The other point we were going to make too is that if you have a handcuff, go to the owner of the guy who has the starter and try to pitch him on a trade if you can, because that's going to make the most sense.
running backs are valuable, man. You will get something even for a non-starting role running back. Not the case with wide receivers because there's so many of them. But for running backs, dudes want and will always look to be acquiring running backs.
Yeah, like a perfect example is like if you have Khalil Herbert for some reason in your rebuilding team, you need to trade Khalil Herbert to the Monty owner like right away because he has the most value to that Monty owner, first of all. And second of all, your window is not going to start for another 1 or 2 years at the earliest. So why
But
would you
isn't
have a
Khalil
guy?
Herbert's window not going to start for a couple of years too?
Yeah,
If
but
he has
he's
a window, you don't know if
yeah,
he's going to even have a window.
exactly. Like he could be out of the league in 2 years. You don't
Just
know.
like take your profits now.
Exactly.
Don't
Take your
risk
dividends while you
because
can.
you're eating poop now, but you could be also eating poop in 3 years. You might as well start building now.
What I'll say is this. If you do nothing and you keep a guy like Khalil Herbert on your roster and you're rebuilding, you don't have Montgomery, you failed. He's not going to be useful for you at all, period, in your life.
Is very little value to on the Bears bench, basically. Like, what is he going to do for you? So, yeah.
Well, he could start.
Like he did last season, a game or two, right? But like, what
No,
is
I mean,
that
in
really
three, I'm
for
talking
you?
about in 2-3 years he could start.
Yeah,
I'm
Monty
agreeing
could
with
go
you
to another
guys. I'm
team.
just trying to like
good.
poke,
Yeah, you're playing devil's
like
advocate.
Sure, but then let me push back that couch. So you're saying in 2-3 years he could start.
There's a small.
If
chance.
I'm rebuilding,
let's say like 10. Let's say like 15%.
Let's say you're right. Forget about it. Let's say it's 100%. Let's say you're right. He does start in 3 years. Let me ask you a real question. Would I rather have Khalil Herbert on year 4 or year 3 of his contract, or just give me a younger running back? I'll take the younger running back all day.
With the pick, so get the pick.
Get the pick. Yeah.
And we know you're agreeing with it. It's a good point though to make to play devil's advocate.
Yeah,
though,
of course, definitely.
There are guys that are on the fence, right? Like maybe they like Herbert, they just like his talent. You know, they get emotional, and it's like, no, I don't want to move a guy that I think could be a great player in 2 years. It's like, nah, dude, just cut.
You probably have
get rid of him now.
package him to be realistic, right?
Yeah, but you could package like Khalil Herbert in a 3rd round pick and move up to maybe like the end of the 1st round or early 2nd. You know what I mean? So like package Herbert to move up in the draft to get a better value pick, maybe something along those lines.
I'll even throw in a 4th.
Exactly right.
I'll throw in a 5th. I'll throw in a 5th since we got a 5-round draft here, baby.
That's something that Sushane would do. That's something that I.
Oh yeah, I'd be really into acquiring a bunch of 2022 5th rounders.
Yeah, take these 2 here. I'll throw that. Let me throw that in. This is a bazaar. It's a bargaining chip. This is a farmer's market here. I'll throw this in too. I'll throw in this 4th, throw in this 5th. Give me a 1st.
Yeah,
it's a late 1st anyway.
You want $15 in fab? You want some fab?
No, I mean, look, there's some guys who actually do respect the value of 4ths and 5ths to like make up value. Like, let's say you're going from like Jamar Chase to like Justin Jefferson, and the guy who has Chase is like saying no, Chase is better than Jefferson by a little bit. Just add a 4th.
Yeah,
you're not giving up anything.
That's a tough example. I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But
yeah, no. You're right.
There is literally a guy out there who would do that, though.
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
No, you want to tip his dynasty calculator. There are some people who would just go off a dynasty calculator, and if there's no calculator, the calculator in their head, and that would tip them. They just be like, "Oh, I need the value," or if it make them feel good. Like when I save a penny on something, it makes me feel good. It's an emotional thing. So when you throw that in, sometimes it might do. Yeah, most people will be like, "Dude, why are you talking about this nonsense? We're talking about 2 Hall of Famers. Like, let's not."
It does happen.
Talk about
though.
pennies. It does.
J7 is a great example. So Jack, from our.
I feel like every trade we've been bringing up includes some kind of crappy 4th round pick in there.
He always throws $69 of fab on his trades. He always throws, if he has it, he throws $69 of fab on his trades. And Danny has taken that trade, and I've seen it at least twice now. And they always laugh about it. Was it the $69 of fab that pushed you over? It is like a mental trick.
Bro, it's Jack and Danny are just weird.
Well, yeah, they go back. Right. They trade one guy one week and trade him back the next week. It's interesting, but you get the point. They're
like those movies where they're like spies and they're married and they try to kill each other and they're also madly in love. So they have like
Hey,
a
they were duos.
they have a
partners.
romance.
Yeah, they were
have a-
partners in duo.
They have a romance scene where they're trying to kill each other, but then they end up kissing. That's them, basically.
Yeah.
This is one way to.
Yeah, if I look at
What
my
a
phone, it's like
dynamic.
One
if
way
I
to
look at my
describe
phone
it.
and there's 40 notifications, I'm like, okay, so
Oh,
it's Jack,
God.
Danny, and probably I don't know, one other random person like having a full-on conversation right now in the chat in our sleeper league. So any other points on this one before I make the last point we got, Sushane?
Let's go on. Let's go on.
Okay, so the last point in rebuilding, trade for 2023 first and second round picks. Now, the first round pick is a kind of obvious thing. We've been saying for almost a year now that the 2023 class is a stellar class.
Oh,
So
well,
first round
we've been
picks
saying for 2 years, but go ahead.
right? Exactly, right? So this is known within our Discord and within our, circles, for example. But I want to let you make this point. The second round pick could be more valuable than you think. Tell them what you mean, Sushane.
Yes. Okay. I forgot the exact pick value that I gave you, Drew. I just kind of gave you an approximation, but I'm going to be totally honest with you here. This is not just a top-heavy stacked class. This is a deep class as well.
And we're talking next year, guys.
We're talking
2023.
2023. I'm just going to compare it to 2022 in terms of just like pick values, right? What I would say is this. Based on what I know about scouting, college football, projection to the NFL and stuff. So this is like, an educated guess here. It's an opinion. I could be wrong, but I really this is like the best advice that I could give you here. The way I would value the first overall pick in 2022, this year, that's going to happen in a couple months in your rookie draft. Honestly, man, I might take 7 or 8 players in 2023 over that guy. And I'm not kidding.
You hear that? I mean, that's
over what guy? What
over Burks. Over Burks, basically.
Over Burks.
Who's
Consensus
going?
number
Who's
one.
going? Where would he go in this?
He's saying about what the
like
8th
108 maybe.
108,
108,
okay.
109. That's what I'm saying. That's how thick at the top this class is. Let me make one more point. There's a cutoff point in the second round, not mid, slightly after mid. I don't want to say late because that kind of goes 211, 212. A little bit earlier than that. Let's call it the 208, 209. Those are still legitimate guys. I would say something like the 205 or a 206, so a mid-second round pick in 2023 is probably as good as a late first this year. I'm not making that up.
Yeah, like a David Bell, Jahan Dotson.
If you don't believe me, look no further than what just happened in college football a year ago. Who won the Heisman Trophy for the best? It's pretty much a quarterback award at this point.
Bryce Young.
2023 NFL draft prospect. Who won the Blitnikoff Award for the best receiver? Jordan Addison from Pittsburgh, 2023 draft eligible. Mic drop. There you go. I need to say no more after that because that just proves the point that these guys are just simply superior than what we're seeing in 2022. So if you're rebuilding, 2023 first, they are getting a little expensive though because people are catching on.
Yep.
2023 seconds. You can get a rookie second for cheap. And if I'm saying that I can get like a late 2022 first round pick for something, way cheaper, because I mean, think about it. You're gonna have to pay more for a first round pick this year just for the fact that it's a first round pick. It says 1 ST next to the thing on Sleeper, whereas this one says 2 ND second. So it's going to cost you less, and you might get a similar, maybe even better player.
It's a big point. I think it's a big point. What do you think, Hussein? I mean, it's
where
huge,
you can
right?
really get over on that is like if it's an early second or even mid. If you can, if you can somehow have an idea, which is hard, but if you can be like, all right, man, a second, an early second, I can get so much cheaper usually just because of that mental aspect. Versus a late first. I mean, I can just, I can totally crush it there. Or even a mid-second, if your projections are off.
Yeah.
So, I like that. And Sushane's told me about that a lot. And I don't know, it's going to be fun to rebuild. I'm more excited about my team that sucks than my team that's actually pretty good.